Hey there everyone, Andrew Lopez with Partner Channel OC, coming at you again. Very excited for today's guest. We got a really cool guest. This is probably my favorite one so far because I'm so excited. Jonathan, we have Jonathan Fischer here. Very excited you're here, man. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm glad to share your story and tell everyone what you do.
Great. I'm excited to be here. This is great.
Yeah, it's cool. Thank you for coming out this way and coming to our studio. And it's really cool that you're here. So Jonathan, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so Jonathan Fischer. I was born in Minnesota, but I've been in California now since 1999. And sort of off the bat, what I do, I sometimes tell people that I'm a coach or a health coach, whatever, but I don't really like the term. So I'm still kind of coming up with what do I really want to call myself. So I've lately been going back to the hypnosis part. Because years ago, in 2004, I started to do hypnotherapy. So I did the hypnotherapy thing for many years. And that's what I was calling myself, so now I'm going back to, I'm doing hypnosis. And I actually did that for a number of years, and then for the last 6, I was doing, and to some extent still doing, hypnosis apps. And I thought, well, I'm going to get back into it, and I'm seeing clients again. I never really stopped seeing clients, but I want to build up a practice again. So going back into coaching, hypnosis, and getting back on track, I guess, connecting to humans. But a little bit about me is, why did I even do any of that? Well, I sometimes when I'm speaking talk about my health issues. And I don't talk about like the one thing. Usually I refer to it as the list. And the list is, when I was 16 months old, I had heart surgery. Then I had a heart infection when I was 6. Just after graduating high school, I had a stroke. They also found an aneurysm that they repaired when I was 23. I've had heart rhythm issues since I was 40. 2 years ago I had, Like open heart surgery to repair 7 different things, replaced 2 valves. In fact, after the surgery, I'm recuperating and the nurse comes in and she goes, just to let you know, this was the most extensive heart surgery we've done at this hospital. Now this is a huge hospital in Los Angeles. And I'm thinking, I'm so glad that they told me this after the surgery. They're like, oh, I hope we can do this. But yeah, it was just, it's been one thing after another because I was born with heart issues, with vascular issues. And things kept creeping up. And along the way, I didn't realize it, but I was actually using mindset things or unconscious processes to get me through each of the different heart issues. So it was thinking I was this superhero or this character or whatever, and actually pretending to be that character. When I was in the hospital when I was 6, this was 1976, and at the time my favorite show was The $6 Million Man. And if anyone's familiar with the show, at the beginning, this guy, Steve Austin, he crashes, and they're like, we have the technology, we can build him stronger and faster. And I'm in the hospital, I was there 7 weeks. I didn't know what was going on, I'm not even quite 6 years old. And even though the prognosis was probably death, the treatment, even if you responded to the treatment, which I was allergic to, the medication, people often died. So they had to come up with this new treatment. So the prognosis looked bad, but I'm like, okay, I don't understand the technology, but I'm going to be like Steve Austin. I'm not just going to get well and get out of here, although they didn't really think so for a while. I'm going to be better than when I came in. I'll be stronger and faster. So that was going through my head the whole time. And they did come up with a new thing. A new treatment. I was the first one to experience it. And I got out of there, and one could argue that I was extraordinarily physically capable. And how much was mindset, how much was something else. But I pushed through it, and some would say maybe you fake it till you make it, but I think it was giving me the permission, by connecting to these heroes that I liked, to be that quality that we all have. So years later, when I go to college and I majored in psychology and I learned about hypnosis, I thought, well, here's an interesting thing where I'm learning about the mind and about the unconscious mind and learning about what I was doing as a kid to get myself through. And I thought, well, this would be a great opportunity because I knew that I wanted to help people. And so later when I found this program, this hypnotherapy program, I thought, how cool that I could learn these techniques that I was already using so that I can actually connect with humans and help them. And we were talking a little bit where the traditional things of what do people come to see me for, and And sometimes, you think, oh, quitting smoking or weight loss or fears and phobias, and yes, they do come for all those things. But I was, at first thinking, oh, they're coming to me for these specific issues. And they are, or they think they are. But really, what it seemed like was all of those things, whatever someone could come in and see me for, whatever it was, and some things surprised me why people were coming in, are symptoms. Because I was always connecting to this other thing that looked like it was out of balance. So how I do it is, if I'm doing a session, and maybe it's not even a hypnotic session, maybe it's just a regular coaching session where we're just talking, but I'm talking to them and figuring out what is the answer that they already know but aren't aware of. So if I'm hypnotizing someone, I'm literally giving them suggestions, right? Like hypnotic suggestions. To me, that's like priming the pump. So whatever the symptom is, the issue that they think it is, I'll give them like, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this, and they might do some of those things. And I always say, because I feel like I'm talking to that core self, that deeper self that knows what they need to do in whatever area. And saying, or you can come up with what you know you need to be doing. And maybe they use those things and maybe they don't. But it's like, you're just not connected to who you are. And it's showing itself as these other things. Maybe it's relationship difficulties or something in their job, or we had talked about. I love working with people who maybe have a fear of public speaking, or maybe they don't have a fear but want to get better at it. It's like finding their voice, because that's what I'm doing. I'm finding them and their voice, which is talking to me to tell me like, well, this is what the real answer is.
So your clients, they tell you they know the answer.
They always
know the answer, and they always are going to tell you. You're just the one that helped bring that out. You're
Absolutely.
not telling anybody what to do or how to do it. They are telling you.
In fact, usually that's the case. Like sometimes I'll say I'm a health coach, because that is one area where I could act a bit as a consultant. I know enough about health because I've had to over the years, and I love working with people who have like major, like I would call life-threatening, life-altering health issues. So I know enough about that I could give them advice. But even in that, it's like I'm not just saying be a vegetarian or be a vegan or eat this type of meat or whatever. I might say those things, but it's also like, what feels right for them when I talk to them? What feels right for them as far as exercise or mindset stuff? So even when I know supposed facts that change every day, I am still talking to them to figure out what's the best for them and why do they even want to be that? Because if let's say a man or woman comes to me and goes, oh, I want to lose 50 pounds, and I might say, well, if all of the areas of your life were great, if every area, you had the career you wanted, making more money than you ever thought of, you're in the best relationship, you had the best sex ever, and your partner was super attracted to you, and whatever, every area was great, would you care about being 50 pounds overweight as you say you are?
And that's a big question, right?
Yeah, I would say maybe not. So what we end up doing is, we'll maybe work on that, because maybe he or she wants to lose the 50 pounds, maybe they'll be healthier, whatever.
So there's a bigger issue beyond the 50 pounds.
There always is.
That's just the start.
Yeah.
Or what the symptom is, you would say,
yeah,
right?
Why can't you be healthy now? Why can't you feel sexy now? Why can't you have those dream jobs now? I can work on all those things and the issue, because they're all connected, because I'm talking to that one part of them that knows that everything is exactly as it should be, because I'm talking to their unconscious mind, which is like, you programmed us this way. The unconscious mind is at least 90 to 95% of her mind. So if you think, well, I'm just going to go, willpower it, good luck to you. You 100% are doing the things that you programmed perfectly. And that's what I want to talk to is, let's maybe change that programming a bit. And it usually reflects itself in every area of somebody's life.
Awesome. No, I really, really enjoy just kind of the story and the path that you've taken, and it seems like you're someone who really has tapped into your own mind, and you kind of are aware of so many things. I look at my life sometimes, and I might be aware of some things I might not be, but you figured that out at a really young age, which is amazing, and it's something that I've never seen or heard of, and I was so drawn when I first met you a couple weeks ago, because it blew my mind. Just how you can have that awareness and that just acceptance of just how things are.
It's called fear. I was terrified.
Of course.
Yeah,
sure.
It's like all these things are happening to me, and I'm like, somebody asked me, how many times have you faced death? I'm like, I have no idea how many times. where it wasn't like if that person almost hit me in their car. It's like, yeah, we've all had that. But this is like, I'm having a surgery, like a brain surgery in a month or so. Mm-hmm. So the time to think about it, it's like it was an elective brain surgery to help to fix this aneurysm that was like located like right there. And they're like, if you don't fix it, it could rupture and it would either kill you or, severe damage. But even on the day, it was like 10% chance of something really bad going wrong. So I'm thinking about those things. But that's happened many times where I've had to think about the idea of a surgery going poorly or having another stroke. I mean, I have like bruises on my arms and stuff because I'm on blood thinners. And I'll have like a bruise, like I don't know what happened there, because it's to prevent another stroke. Yeah. It's fear it started off as being fear that got me to do all these different things, and then it became this interest, and then it became this joy. It's like, wait a second. I saw so many things as a young kid. I mean, I was, some of my first memories were being in the hospital at 7 weeks old and walking through the burn unit, or walking through and seeing people that were in the, I forget what it's called, but the bed that's upside down when you have a spinal injury, and seeing all the kids in my room who would run in, like, we had like sticky fingers, little kid who would run in to hide behind my bed, and then later the other guy that would get pummeled on his back because he had cystic fibrosis to loosen everything up, and I'd hear him screaming in the other room. It's like, that's a friend I made. Yeah. So these are all my memories. I thought, if I can take the human connections that I made through all of that, and for lack of a better word, the loving human connections, and translate into, what can I do now? And that's the greatest joy I get when I don't always do hypnosis. Sometimes it is, like I say, a coaching session. But the greatest joy is when I do the hypnosis to see the change on somebody. And I've maybe told you that, where, yeah, they get relaxed, their face kind of gets the passive, relaxed muscles, and then we go a little deeper and we give suggestions, and it changes. And I would swear that they look differently. That they look, it's like this true them appears. Where I like to say, like, they're connected, they're connected to the outside world, and they're hypnotized, and then they connect to who they really are. And then I give the suggestions and the change work, and it's like they get it. It's like, oh, right, I've had the answer. It just had to be more me. And then what happens so many times, I'll take them out of hypnosis, and then, I'll be like, depending on the office, or now it's all online, but they'll open their eyes, you like flick open, and then they'll look at me. And then for that moment, and it's sometimes, unfortunately, fleeting, there's that shared, oh, right.
That aha moment.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I knew. And they get it, and they're connected to who they are. And it's like, just be that stuff. And then, often, to some degree, that goes away as they put on the clothing of who they were told to be and who they're used to being, with all their, hopefully not all there, but some of their issues and their barriers and their blocks to who they could be, who they really are, and then they leave. But that's the process. Is we chop down the tallest tree, and then there's another tallest tree, and we work through it. And that's the joy, is to see that realization in somebody. And I get the same thing when I work with somebody who wants to improve a speech or improve public speaking. It's like, let's find your voice, because then it's easy.
Yeah, it makes life a lot easier.
Absolutely.
One thing I would say, and this is something that we love to talk about, on Partner Channel OC, and one thing I always highlight is, it sounds like you really, really value partnership to your clients on a different level. It's not like a business partnership, where you're transactional here and we have these two products that come together and we tap this market. Like, you are somebody's partner. Like, you really, really help somebody pull what's going on out of them. So that's my view, but how do you view partnership in your business and kind of in your lifestyle?
It's totally, that's exactly what it is. Because, there's like a hypnotic pattern, if I can go back to the hypnosis stuff, but really how I hypnotize someone is I get into the hypnotic state. I mean, I'm not like, whatever, but I'm relaxed, and so I'm in the state, they're in the state, so it's matching them. It's connecting with them. And, I'm finding out what they need. I've already taken notes about what they want in their words and what their goals are, and then we're still working through it. So I can't do it without them. So if they say, oh, you hypnotized me. Yes and no. I helped you hypnotize yourself. I helped you fix yourself. Sometimes we'll do dream therapy. They're like, oh, that sounds exciting. Oh, are you going to interpret my dreams? I'm like, I can't without you, because I'm not you. It is a partnership where we have to work through, like, well, what does this mean for you? We can't look it up in a book. It's totally that connecting. Really, it's yes, it's a partnership with them, but I'm helping them partner with them, with the them they didn't even know. So there's like we include somebody else that's like, you really know this person well. It's you. It's the you that you were afraid to be.
It's the partnership with yourself.
Yeah, it's when everyone says, like,
I never thought of it that way. That's so cool.
It's totally true, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's like whatever they could come in with. Well, again, let's say the typical, like, smoking. And I gave you the example of sometimes when I'm asking questions and getting to know them, the partnership, I'll say, like, do you ever smoke to calm down? Often, yes. Yeah, then, like, minutes will go by, I'm going down the list of all these questions, and I deliberately spread these 2 questions out. And I go, do you ever smoke to give yourself a lift? Yes. And then I'm like, do you realize that you said it calms you down and picks you up? It's do the exact opposite things.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not cigarette. Maybe it's this thing.
Uh-huh.
That applies to everything. Whether it's smoking or weight loss or confidence or business stuff or anything that somebody could see me with, it's like, what do you believe at the core level? Mm-hmm. What does your unconscious believe? And what do you consciously want? And getting all that on the same page, that's the relationship. That's the partnership. Now, yes, I do partner with, like, if somebody's coming to me with a diagnosis of, like, depression or anxiety, and yes, it has to be a referral from a licensed therapist, or a lot of times doctors will send me patients who have any number of issues that I'm helping at that other level, or helping to reinforce the recommendations that they're giving. Yes, so that's a partnership. But really, it's that partnership with them, and then it's like, you two, meaning you and your deeper self, should talk. Mm-hmm. And don't listen to the loud voice, the ego voice. It's very loud. It thinks it runs the show, and it doesn't. Because it's the one that's like, we always have to have problems to solve. It needs problems, and if you don't have any, it'll make more. So listen to that small voice in the background. That's the one. Yeah. It's that, like, oh yeah, maybe I should do this.
The smallest things that make the biggest impact.
Absolutely. And
even that's in the mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's the small voice that at some point, if you stop listening to it, doesn't go away, but it stops talking. And you start maybe feeling it in your body, or having certain dreams. And it's like, maybe before that happens, connect to it. So, but that's the partnership as well, as connecting to that voice.
Awesome. Well, Jonathan, thank you so much for just telling your story and enlightening everybody what you do, and even the value of partnership as a life coach or health coach or hypnotherapist, and kind of all the hats that you wear, all kind of aligned in the human connection, in finding your one self and partnering with yourself to overcome the things. So thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you, yeah.
I'm going to put Jonathan's contact info below. Please reach out to him, connect with him. He's got a lot to say, a lot of good stuff to say. And if you're just struggling with something, or want to overcome something, or have questions about things, Jonathan is here to help you out and take care of you.
Ask questions. Yeah, absolutely. I'm open to that.
All right.
Get them where they want to be.
All right. Well, yeah. Thank you again for being a part of Partner Channel OC. This has been such an amazing episode. I hope all of you are enlightened and can really utilize Jonathan in some way, shape, or form. So I'll put his contact info below. I'll put this on LinkedIn. I'll put it on my website, which is www.partnerchannelOC.com, and you can view it there. Jonathan, thank you so
very
much.
much.
This has been awesome.
It was very fun.
All righty. Cheers, everybody.
Thanks.